Once upon a time there was a beautiful king, there was a beautiful girl, the princess is very beautiful, and he always thought other people were inferior to him. Raja was very worried about it, because the princess didn't accept any prince for marriage. Then came the beautiful princess, but he has nothing to do with everyone, they denied them. Once upon a time, the princess became tired of this habit. A lot of princes, whom he knew and did not know, in his palace. So that the princess may choose among them her companions. All the princess came to the palace and the princess came to the garden, where all the princes were. The princess looked at one prince after another and rejected them. A prince with a heavy body, when she saw him, she laughed and smiled. Why would I marry this fat buffalo, while I am so good? Then came the second princess, who was very thin. The princess looked at him and laughed. What shall I do with mankind? Then the wind will blow. But the princess was not ashamed of her words. Then came the third princess, who was a little taller. She looked at him and laughed. It looks like a child to me. He came to rejoice. One after the other. Princess. Every prince was denied any fault, and when he went forward, then he looked at a prince, the one standing at the end of the row. He looked the other way. A high, tall, shiny face, relaxation in the eyes and personality. His name was Vian. The heart of the princess was forgotten for a moment, did not believe his eyes. He looked at his face, but he did not see anything. Then he smiled and looked at her. You are not worthy of me, you are not the kind of person who should be in my company. The courthouse was closed. There was a moment of sadness in Vian's eyes, but he said nothing. That night he was very angry, and he sat on the throne. In the morning, the door will open. I will marry my daughter, whether he is a prince or a poor man, he will judge. The news spread like lightning in the palace. The next day, the princess was dressed like a bride. It was a very nice red paranoise outside the courtyard. A poor man walked in front of the palace. The king called him. The courts were surprised. The king ordered, "This is the one who will marry the princess." The princess's feet were shaken, but he said nothing. He walked with the poor. Both left the castle. After a while he asked, "Where are you living? What is your name?" The poor answered with a gentle smile. My name is Sanu. I live in the kingdom of the prince. The princess was silent. There was a light wave in my heart. As though it were a reminder. They walked along a green field. The princess asked in surprise, "Whose is the beautiful earth?" Sanu smiled. "This is the prince's wife." Then he heard it in the heart of the princess. Then they went through a large market. The princess asked again, "Which place is this?" Sano responded with a light smile, "This is the prince's wife." The princess's heart was broken, was ashamed of his pride. After a while they arrived in a village. The village was very poor. Ruined houses, broken walls and surrounding. Sano stood in front of a weak broken house and spoke, "This is our house, princess." The princess's face was surprised, was accustomed to the glowing walls of the palace, only the soil here. There was silence and poverty. He entered the house and looked around. There were no beds, no smells, no lights. Said softly, "You are now our queen. This is your home now." Then he pulled out a simple dress. The princess looked at him, surprised, for his body never touched less than silk. And then he puts on his clothes. He had to do everything himself. The next day she was cooking for her husband because he never worked with his hands. His hand was burned by the fire. When he returned, he said nothing, and hold his hand and speak softly. The princess worked quickly. "I don't want to hurt you." Then a few days later, he put on his clothes. The princess started as soon as she did. The needle was in his delicate hand and the blood was flowing. He immediately took his hand. He slowly turned and spoke, "Take care, queen. The world's most powerful hands are not used to hardships." And the heart of the princess. A little spark of love burned. His tenderness and patience touched the heart of the princess. Then he said softly, "Princess, now you leave those household chores. I'll bring you another job tomorrow so we can get together. You can go home." The next morning he gave me a box, which was filled with little toys, and he said, "You have to sell them in the market." The princess went to the market, and then, when he arrived, the princess slowly walked away. His face was covered with sadness. The market was not for him. She looked around in amazement. Then suddenly a thief came. He ran away with his basket. The princess fell to the ground. After dinner, he returned home empty-handed, and he saw her crying. He came close to her. "Don't worry, princess, I will go to the palace tomorrow. Have some old relationships there. You might find work there." The next day the princess arrived. It was the prince's palace, which he rejected from his pride. Today he was there in the form of a servant. He swept away, he washed the dishes and hid the tears. The light of his heart was now in the light of the palace. Then he saw that he was in the house. The servants were running. The princess asked in surprise, "What is all this happening?" A servant smiled, "Daughter, you haven't heard, the wedding of Prince Vian is coming. The whole city will be destroyed today. This is a happy occasion." Suddenly the door opened and Prince Vian entered. The prince's breath stopped, the eyes of those whom he denied. The prince came close to him, and he took his hand in front of everyone and carried it to the middle of the hall. All the applause began. The music was playing and they both danced. Suddenly the princess's feet slipped, and he fell. The whole city laughed. The princess was embarrassed, but Prince Vian held his hand from behind. "Stop it, princess." He took her to a beautiful room. The princess was surprised. The prince smiled. "Do you not recognize me? I am your husband and you are my princess." The eyes of the princess were filled with tears, said nothing, just touched his chest and cried, "Your father knew. And they wanted you to understand the meaning of love." It was all about revealing the truth. Then come the servants, prepare the princess shiny couple jewelry, the smell, and they returned to their original glory. But he was not proud. Now he has a good heart. She was a gentle and kind princess, who knew the truth. The beauty is not in the face, but in the heart. Princess and princess, forever happy and happy.